Promise Neverland, chapter 175. Now, this was the ending for the. This is a pretty decent way to make a chapter after what happened in the previous one. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So yeah, chapter 175 was honestly a pretty nice chapter. It opens up with Levis announcing that the old system is gone, and all the people, the regent houses, the vassals, and their soldiers, and will essentially be arrested. But also that all farms will be abolished. Now that is something that I did enjoy, because everyone is wondering why in the hell he's doing it. So here's the thing. Levis ends up saying how the way the farm was, the old reign managed to keep control over all the citizens and controlling their population, stuff like that, with how much human meat they were able to get, thus maintaining full control over their entire kingdom and what the people end up saying or thinking, essentially making it so that they didn't have any real reason to go against the ruling class. And since Levis is saying that he's going to give the evil blooded to everyone, they won't need to degenerate. They won't have to eat human meat, so they can keep themselves from degenerating. One thing I did like about this is that, as Levis was saying this, people were in fact getting confused on why the hell they would stop eating human meat. But they were also like going back. They were going back and forth with their mentality, like, so now we won't need to have human meat. We won't have to worry about degenerating even if we don't eat it. But they're other saying, but human meat is special. We need to have this. We need to eat this. This is what we've known for such a long time. But then they ended up going back and being like, you know what? If we can go without degenerating, we can go without eating human meat. And then they all chanted Levis's name and said, "Long live King Levis." But the interesting thing is that he said that he's not going to be the king. He said he's part of the old system and that he's also guilty of looking the other way for what everyone has been doing up to this point. And I do love the flashback we get with him at Goldie Pond after the kids destroyed his core, and it was confirmed that they did destroy Levis's core. What was essentially correct with how everyone thought of this, and what I said in a previous review when Levis showed back up, he himself also had a second core, which was just pure luck. He even says, "I didn't know I had a second core. This was just pure freaking luck." And he said he was just gonna lay low and just, since he lost the humans, he was just gonna lay low and die in the rural areas of the kingdom. But once he heard that the queen passed, he was like, I gotta go make sure no one does anything stupid. Pretty much like, I gotta make sure no one does anything stupid, which is where he is right now and why he's doing all this. So he ends up saying that Mujika should be the new queen of their kingdom. He even says before, about the promise 1,000 years ago with human meat and the farms and everything. So by having Mujika be the new queen, they end up having the evil-blooded. They won't be able to degenerate, and they won't need to eat humans. And Mujika will be a more just ruler than the previous queen. So it helps out. She was questioning it, but then His Excellency, I think the high priest of the demon's church and stuff like that, showed up and was like, "You are what we need. You can help." And then everyone says, "We'll leave everything to you, Your Majesty." The best part, another good point that the high priest does say, is that leaving everything to Mujika is essentially the same thing that they did with the previous queen, because the citizens are also guilty of everything that was going on, behind the scenes, and that's an interesting way of putting things, because even though the queen did kind of control them through the process of giving them their food, they were pretty much leaving all the decision making to the royalty and everything, which is why they were chanting to kill Mujika just on pure word of mouth from the people that were ruling. So after saying that, they're like, "We'll support you. We'll do whatever we can to help," and that everyone in the kingdom will help to serve and protect and to create, to make a new system, a new era. And then Mujika ends up reaffirming herself and is then crowned the queen. And then we cut back to Emma's group back at Gracefield. Everyone hearing the news that Mujika is the queen and that all the farms were abolished. And just like that, everyone jumps out in excitement, being that they finally did it, and now everyone that was raised as food can finally be free. Everybody can be free. Then we cut to one of the farms to end up the chapter. Emma shows up in front of Phil and says, "Phil, I'm home." And then we get a nice touching moment between the two of them. And that's how the chapter ends. Honestly, while I didn't like Peter Rattray as the final villain, I mean, for all we know, there's still going to be some more stuff to go along because you have no idea what the full conditions of Emma's promise was and what she'll have to give up for all the humans to have safe passage to the human world. But for now, everything seems to be pretty damn good. Peter Rattray is dead. The old system's gone. The regent houses are all dead. The queen's dead. Mujika is the new queen, and all of the citizens are going to have evil-blooded. So now they won't need they won't need human meat, thus making the farms useless. And now all the kids can finally be free. Honestly, this has the makings of the end of the arc. I honestly feel like after this, they can just end the chapter right here, or the series right here and there. Next chapter or two, it'll be the finale, the epilogue, everyone going off to start their new lives, for all we know. But like I said, there's still more we could possibly see. There could be like one more arc before the actual end of the series, even though it is confirmed the series is ending. But we have no idea. Now, before I cap off this video, one thing I need to say is that the next chapter of Promised Neverland isn't coming out for another 28 days. Another 4 full weeks. A full month. In 1 month, that's the next time we're getting the next chapter of Promised Neverland. Which I'm not sure about. I mean, for all we know, it could be because this next chapter is going to be even longer. Or we're going to get multiple chapters at once. That's something I'm not sure of. Or maybe the manga needed some time off or something like that. No news on that, honestly. But, yeah, I have no idea why it's going to take a month before the next chapter of Promised Neverland to come out. But either way, I'm still happy with how this arc's turning out. Peter Rattray was a big disappointment, and despite, getting to somewhat understand his character before he dies, I still feel like, he wasn't meant to be the final villain. He was built up so much, and he wasn't much of a villain in the end. Wasn't that interesting. But either way, The Promised Neverland has been a pretty good series so far. I love the story. This arc was pretty amazing. Emma's development as a character has really surprised me. They could have easily screwed her up, but I am really glad that she has become the character that everyone really loves to have around. She can be like one of the best protagonists in manga at this moment. But yeah, honestly, there's not much left for me to talk about. Everything that happened in this chapter, stuff that I really did enjoy. I did like seeing why Levis isn't going to rule his new kingdom. How we actually got confirmation that he himself also had a second core. But all the decisions made at this point have been good decisions, aside from Peter Rattray, of course. But every decision in this chapter and how this arc turned out is something that I can accept and enjoy. And I hope you guys did too. But what did you guys think of this chapter? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you think they should have done something different? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And you're not going to see me do another Promised Neverland review for another month, since that's when the next chapter is supposed to come out. But other than that, I hope you guys have an awesome day.